welcome back to Hawk and Wolf Outfitters, where we are crazy, goofy, and ready to show you how to do something. If you've been watching this series, I think we're up on 9. We're fixing to be up on part 10. Part 10 is, I say every one of them ain't gonna be long, but I get to rambling and get to talking my junk, and we end up being a long ways into that video, and I know it gets annoying and stuff, but these are right off the hip. That's how I make the videos. I don't go and write out a screenplay and rehearse them. Everything you see me do is just from right here, and the knowledge that I have in there and the process that I take for that moment. So guys, part 10, here we go. We're gonna start showing you how I get that finish that I get that was passed down to me by Mike Stewart from Bark River Knives. So let's get over here and get busy. You know, welcome back. Do you know what we're gonna be doing? What is the next process? Acetone. That's right. We're gonna be whipping out some acetone. Why? We want these blades clean. Not the blades, but we want the scales nice and clean. Plus it gives us an idea of what we've got to start with. And yes, that would have been inside of this special treated formula. Guys, I'm just playing with you. I like to have fun. I like to get out here and really enjoy myself when I do these things. And some people think, man, he's goofier than I don't know what. But yeah, I am. Because it releases that energy. The Aquaman. No, seriously, I watched Aquaman last night on TV. My brother-in-law came over yesterday, and we're just cleaning this up with acetone, getting a lot of it in there and on it. You don't have to get a whole lot, but I want to get rid of anything that's imperfections in it, as in dust. But I'd never seen that movie. It's a pretty good little movie, and I normally don't really get into a lot of that stuff, but I did this time. Now, this next process, after we acetone it, I'm gonna run some Q-tips down in there because I want to get out everything that's in that, because it's just gonna build up and it's just gonna be a big pain in the, yeah, to get it out later. So let's get it cleaned up. Mike, how can you make them so cheap but they're so good? Well, there's my Q-tip holder. Oh, it's Minute Maid. Yeah, I use Q-tips to clean them out. Again, you're just gonna run that thing down in there. Get as much as you can the first pass, and it ain't easy breeze. Look at that. We just knocked out something we didn't even know was in there. Now we got another one. Now we see that we've got a little bit of glue from that pen that hardened. We're just gonna take an old thing. And do it again. Just scraping it around. And that's all we're doing. We're getting that to where it's got a nice pass all the way through. Once we have that, we take the other side of the Q-tip, and guess what we're going to use? I bet you'd never guess. Acetone. And I'm going to run it right in there, and it'll help loosen up anything, break it down. See that dirt that was on it? I want to give you a good product, and I could go buy the reamer, probably save myself a lot of time and trouble, but that's more expense that I have to put into it, and right now I don't have the money to be buying all of those things. Well, I do, but I'm not going to, because then I got to charge you. So there we go. Y'all see me, I see you. All right, we're good. Now, we've cleaned it up and we're ready for that next famous project. to get that coat of glimmer and shimmer that you like so well. I'm just messing with you. I like to have a good time. So here we go. Get started. Now you can't see my face and me to get you filmed because I don't have those high dollar cameras and all that. We teach in knife making, not video skills, so remember that. What you're gonna need is this right here. And make sure that it is exactly that. Not polyurethane, but shellac. Some of you old timers know what shellac is. Some of you younger gentlemen may not know what it is. It's just a product that we grew up with before we got polyurethane and a lot of the other stuff. But shellac. The other chemical is boiled linseed oil. These two things right here, 50%, 50%. That's it. What this does is it sucks it in to the wood. What this does is give it a hardened finish. Not a hardened finish like wood hardener, and do not get the two confused, because I tried it. I knew what to do, but I thought I was going to improve Mr. Stewart. No, this is the two formulas you need. I've tried Japan dryer, throwing a little mixture in there with it. Don't fool with the process. Leave it like he's done it for, God, 20 years. Kudos to those women and men that work for him that do this by hand, because let me tell you right now, this is not an easy process. It's a simple process, but it's not easy. So let's get started. All right. So now we're back. Now, my first original right here, I made a big batch like this because I thought, man, I'm gonna use a lot of it. You do not use a lot. This right here has done about 100 knives. It's just a small baby food jar. He gave me this January of 2019, and my wife just made a roast beef sandwich. Oh God, it was so good. Well, now I'm paying for it, I guess, out here. But this is what it's going to look like after you've mixed it up and you've had it in your shop for a little while. It's a funky looking color, ain't it? Yeah, well, do not put it on at that color. Pick it up, tighten it up, hold the lid down. My jaw's moving. Give it a good mixing. Turn it upside down, do whatever you gotta do. Now look at the color. It's more milky or white. That's the color consistency that you're looking for. Now, for you that are afraid of chemicals, I probably should be, so what I'm gonna tell you to do is get you a set of black nitriles, or get you one of those little finger condom things that it's just for one finger and put them on. I do not do that. I use my fingers, dip it straight in, dip it straight out. I've worked on cars, as in the automotive industry, for paint and body work. It's not safe, but just do it the way you're supposed to do to be safe. Do as I say, not as I do. And just gently wipe it on. Now, I'm not showing you on purpose of what it looks like on the first coat, because I want you to see what just happens. And I'm keeping you low. You know, guys, I enjoy doing these videos, and when I'm having fun, I hope it comes across on the screen. I've done some videos where I was just doing them to be out here. I've done some of them in the woods just to be out there, and now I remembered what I got into this for, and it was to help and teach. Now, you're gonna let this sit for 15 minutes. Now what I did was, I'll show you on the next step so that you can see, but I wanted you to see that transformation, how everything is brightened up, how everything has gotten real good. Don't short step on this process. That's the one thing that Mike said, don't short step it. Make sure that you're doing it the right way. And if you don't, you'll pay for it. I have. I'll give you an example of one of them right here. I got to go back and redo this gentleman's knife because I short stepped it. And what I mean by that is 6 minutes is good. No, it's not. 15 minutes. You want that boiled linseed oil to penetrate into that wood as much as possible, and you want it to stay there when you wipe it down. And I'll show you the next step. Hang tight. We'll be back in 15 minutes. Don't go get no popcorn because really it ain't 15 minutes for you. All right. So here we are. Now, seriously, I'm back. Remember when I told you to shake it the first time? Make sure you shake it every time because it does separate. Mix it all back up. Doesn't take a lot if you ain't got a full jar. Just mix it all back up. Get that good color where it's all milky. Set it aside. Get you a expensive paper towel. That's how I charge you more. No, seriously, I see you drooling. You're already ready to buy it. There'll be 4. That's all that's going to be on YouTube for a little bit, or for this here, but there'll be 4 knives of this style. The rest of them are already been sold. And I got to get busy, but I wanted to pass along to you guys as much as I can. Take that, take your paper towel, and you friction it. You're wanting to heat that up, and that's why I said those ladies or men that do this job up there for Mike, Lord forbid they making big money, because this is probably the hardest part about the daggone knife. The rest of it's done by machine, and this is the motor that runs this machine, their little hands. So when you buy a knife from Bark Rivers, you remember, or if you buy one from Mike Ware or some of the other people that do this, they put some heart and soul into it. Heart and soul. It's a lot. But you want to get it frictioned up. Now once you've gotten it to that process that you have tapered and touched every little piece and gotten it hot, same thing with these sides. And this is the hardest part, getting in between these, because you ain't got much room to surface on it. And it's just friction. That's all it is, but it's heating it up to dry it on out, is what I gather from it. Mike didn't tell me that's what it was doing. He just told me to shut up and do it. So I did. Now you would think, let's put another coat on it. Well, if you did that, it's not going to do anything. The next step, get you a old Kraft mayonnaise jar, 48 ounce. Reach down in there, get you a little bit of steel wool, 4/0. You don't need the full sheet. So poke it all back in, just like so. And lightly, when I say lightly, I mean like lightly, tickling a feather. You're just trying to take off anything and roughen that surface back up so the next coat can adhere into it. And just roughly, not roughly, I'm sorry, slightly rubbing it, what you're wanting to do. And make sure that you've gotten it all. And same thing, wipe it off, flip your napkin, wipe it off, make sure you're getting every bit of that steel wool out of it, because that's what's going to be inside of your product when you get done if you don't get it off. And let's apply another coat. We're going to do this 5 or 6 times. I'll determine how long I want to go with it. So when we come back, you're going to see the finished product as I rough up it with the paper, but we will not do the sanding with the steel wool on the last coat. Right, here we are, 6 coats, and that took about an hour and a half for us to do that process. Now remember when I told you we're going to do everything to this except for the roughing it back up so that the rest of the coats would adhere to it? we're just gonna hand buff this. And then we're gonna take it over to a hard buff with no anything on it. No pad, no nothing. A high-speed buffing wheel that's about 3/4 of an inch thick. In this shop here, we don't have the bigger buffer yet. We'll never have it in this one. It's going all into the new one. But like I said, I'm trying to show you things that you can do, that you can get this quality work just out of a smaller shop and not have to worry with it. So let's take it over to the buffer and then we'll bring it back. Now what that's actually going to do is only put a high polish on it. It's not going to buff it. It's not going to be any of the pink rouge that we're going to put on it or the other rouge. It's just going to be to set that with heat, basically, is all we're doing. All right, so we're just sitting here with a plain yellow hard ribbon buffing wheel. It's a sewn buffing wheel. It's not, we're just wanting to heat this up to make sure that it adheres. It'll be tomorrow before we go and put it over onto the other side. But let's get it turned on. This is about 3,700 RPMs. Let's see if it tells us. It's like 3,450 RPM. That's a fast turning buffing wheel. It heats up very hot. It gets your fingers real burnt real quick. We're just trying to adhere this, and I haven't got any lights on. We're just wanting to put a high heat on it and smooth it out. Doing this, make sure that this blade is not going to come in contact with that wheel right there. All we're doing is basically drying this out to where it's a high heat. Now some people will leave it at this. I don't. It's really enough to leave it where it's at, but I don't like it that way. I want to make sure that it's as warm as it can be, and it has made a very good finish on it. As you can see, it's a very good finish now. It's got a good one. We may go ahead and take it on over here. I got a few minutes before I have to get to the bed, and we'll put it on the pink, and then we'll hit it with the other one. So hold tight. Now this buffing wheel right here, I'm gonna slide that out of my way so I can get over here, is at 1750, which is basically 1/2 of the speed. And here's my 2 3/4 inch pads that I have on it. We're gonna lay this up here, take the rake and get anything that may be on it out of it. Because we don't want anything that's been left in it that's hardened up to cause anything to make that blade go bad. I use pink rouge. This is not the one that Mike calls for, but I had it. Once I get done with this here, I will take this over to a nice pink rouge that he sells, what he uses, but I'm not changing anything at this point for right now, because I'm not charging you $300 for these either. We're gonna lightly take this here there's not a lot of pressure. You should have about that much pressure. And as you can see how my hand is handling that, if I was to push down, it starts heating up quick. You don't want to heat it up too quick. You just want a light, gentle pressure on it. You're just polishing it. You're not trying to take all of everything that you just worked an hour and a half on to get it off. This is probably the most dangerous piece of equipment, this and the other one, that you have in the shop. Don't take this as a light tool that it's not bad, because it is. It will really mess you up in a heartbeat, and especially if you do like I do some of them. And there was a reason that I didn't do these in the video like I normally do, because as time goes on, you'll get a little more, I want to use the word cocky, but in the beginning, don't. Really respect your tool. Respect it for what it is, not for it's a lack of respect. And then I'm going to hit this thing here one more time down like this. There's a breaking point, and right here is where it's at. I hope you can see that. You go up here, you're going to get a stabbed foot. Stay below that. Down here is all good. Here, middle to here, that's good. Anything above that, you're throwing that thing down and it's going to get you. So stay within the boundaries of safeness. And like I said before, I'm not hitting that very hard. I'm just gently touching it. Now, as you can see, it don't look any much different. But now we're going to take it back to that 3750 and knock off everything that we have on it. This is what we call a clean buff. And all it's doing is taking anything that the lower speed buff did not get off of it all. Well, that's my terminology to it. See how I'm staying beneath and that breaking point, and here is your surface. Anything above or below that, like you start going down here, you could spin that thing all the way around if you don't have a good grip on it. But stay right in here. Look at that finish. Three, two, one. Well, guys, this is all we're going to have for this video, because next step is going to be putting the hollow grind in this. And after we got the hollow grind in it, we've polished everything up. We'll be putting on our logo, which will be Mike Ware. And this knife will be ready to purchase, along with the other three that's up there by the time this one comes out. I enjoy Amazook wood. It's a very good wood. When you're putting that finish that Mike had taught me how to put on it, that's a very good finish. It's a very good fitting knife. It fits well in the hand. Most of you guys that have bought my knives, the most common trait that I get is, man, that handle fits good to my hand, and I appreciate that. The blade retention is very good. I don't charge an arm and leg for my products. Notice that I had said that black, by burning it a little bit, really gives you character across the top. All right, guys, so there we have it. I mean, we have the hunter-gatherer ready to go, putting the grind on it, and we're done. I'll show you the process that I use for taping the handle up so that I don't have to come back and do a lot of work to it, because if I was to take this straight over to the grinder and start working it all the way, and I'm going to teach you how that I've learned to make that grind and that transition of the grind. I'm going to teach you how to do that so that you are not so afraid to try to freehand. Some of my knives, Hawk Badgers, that are just typical Scandi grind, they're done on a jig. There's no sense in wasting all that time trying to sit down and do it. The convex, they're not done on a jig, but the initial spine or the initial grind is done on a jig. Then I taper them into a convex. Those are all done on it. There's no, the one person that would tell you, oh, that was not free-handed, is the person that's just trying to make sales. That's the bottom line. The knife product in the end is the end of what it is. If you did too much, for me personally, if you have done too much sending it off, it does not become a personalized knife, it becomes a business knife. Nothing wrong with that. You've already critiqued it by hand, and now you're just employing other employees to make some money to help you with the process so that you can have an end result. So don't think that I'm against people that have their knife handles sent off. Don't think that I'm against those that have what they had to originally make it, and now they're just employing other people to help them make it. So I hope that understands a little difference between why my shop is run and how some of the other ones are. They're very good at what they do. They had to originally start somewhere. Most of them. Some of them just started at the, let's send these things off to be mass produced. Some of them started off in the factory. Their home little personal shop like we did here. So again, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for all the subs, all the comments that you put on there, and especially the watch time. I hope you're getting something out of these, and I'll catch you guys on another video coming up on probably 12, putting the grind on, maybe 15 parts in this series altogether, because there's a little more to it than just shaping and molding handles and making them built like they are. So again, thank you guys, and I'll catch you later.